Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the invitation, and of course, thank you very much for this conference and all those who have been organizing it and insisting to have it and to have it in the European Parliament. It's an honor for us. But I think it also is a sign that it is recognized that the European Parliament is especially active on the question of the Roma issue. Many times we made resolutions, we asked the Commission, we asked the Council what they do about integration of Roma, respect for Roma, on the human rights issue, on many of the issues. And I know that, of course, our power is limited. We have, of course, the budgetary power to bring into the budget different kind of programs and projects. But I think what we want to be is the voice of clear respect for human rights, especially also on the Roma issue. My argument always has been, sorry to use this kind of argument, we have more Roma people in Europe than many of the member countries have inhabitants. And it's absolutely strange that small countries, very small countries, have their own commissioner, but the Roma population is not represented. Of course, the Roma population should be represented by their countries, because they're citizens of their country. But the fact, at least until now, it is that very often they are not represented at all and not represented in an adequate way. And therefore, I think it is absolutely important that the European Union engages itself. Again, the European Union is not here for substituting national activities and national programs. And I know some prominent people sitting here who work on national programs and do surely a very good work. But where they do the work, the European Union should support that work. And where they don't do the work, the European Union should even blame and shame the countries who are not ready to do their job up to the necessity they should do. The European Union has a program already in the Lisbon program, not in the Lisbon Treaty, but the Lisbon program, a policy of inclusion and to prevent exclusion. But very often, Roma people are not included in the normal society processes, and therefore it's absolutely important that the European Union is putting much more emphasis on that. Who is the European Union? Because normally people think it's the European Commission or the Council. Well, the Commission did a lot of work, yes, but it is much too timid and not courageous enough to ask member countries to do their job, including now after demanding the national strategies. And therefore, the European Parliament, or many of the political groups, initiated an oral question for next week's parliamentary debate in Strasbourg on asking Commission and Council what results are there concerning the national programs. There's a Secretary of State of Sweden, and hopefully Sweden can say, we fulfilled our national program, we are here, we are doing it. I think not many countries have them done, maybe also from other countries, Romania, and so we hear something about it, but I think it's absolutely important that the European Commission demands it. Secondly, the Council. The Council, of course, has also responsibility as the political element of the national administration, but again, the Council is on this issue very restricted. I know we have other problems in Europe too, economic crisis and banking crisis, and they are very much engaged in not solving it anyway, but this is another issue. But it is important not to forget the social problems, like also the problem of inclusion of Roma population. What I've seen personally, and as parliamentarians, it's also our job to go out to see the facts on the ground. And therefore, for example, my political group, we organized several visits. We organized visits in Slovakia, we organized a visit in Hungary, yes, in Romania, and also in France. Because this Parliament, and that is also very clearly, does not say, well, Roma problems are Eastern and Southeastern European problems. No, the dealing with Roma issue is not fair in many other countries as well. Italy and France are very prominent countries. I wouldn't say that they are the only Western countries where there are problems. But nevertheless, I think it is very important also the message from the European Parliament, because otherwise it is, okay, these Eastern Europeans, they have their problems, but we are clean. No, that's not true. We all have our problems to serve and to solve. And therefore the European Parliament is very, very strict and tries to be as neutral as possible, because it's not about a fight against one or the other country. This is not our issue. It's a fight against discrimination, against measures which are unfair, and for integration. And you know perfectly well it is possible to do something. It is not, and we can see it wherever you go, it is not the case that it is a problem which cannot be solved. We see many good initiatives, and I see several people here sitting whom I know that they have done enormously valuable and important project of integration of Roma. Therefore, our message also from European Parliament is not only one of criticism, but also of saying, yes, it is possible. Or to paraphrase Mr. Obama, yes, we can do it. And much better than Obama can fulfill his promises, or many of his promises, we could do it if there are people on spot who do the work, if there are political authorities, mayor or whoever, who support them, if there's some money perhaps from the European Union, and if there's a European Commission and a European Council who, under pressure of the European Parliament, tries to give the pressure onwards to the member countries who do not enough of their job. In that sense, I don't want to go on any further, because on this issue, many of the parliamentarians work hand in hand together, because Roma issue should not be an issue of division, and therefore the one report we had a great support and for the report, and the resolution normally greatly supported by members from different political groups. I don't want to exclude any group here. Of course, there are some groups perhaps who are more engaged and others who are less engaged, but members from different groups support that, and that is very important. And the last point, we fight against discrimination, we are for inclusion, we are for many other issues, but I think what is very important, and not yet is our message clear on that issue, the variety and the multicultural, if you want, population of Europe is an asset. Very often we think it is a problem, and also I spoke about the problems, but I don't think that the Roma are problems, but the problem is how they are treated partly by the population and especially, of course, by politicians. So I think we should go on the next step and say, for God's sake, we are not similar and the same. We have that variety of cultures, variety of languages, variety of expressions. That doesn't mean that we should not work together on reforms and on modernization and on education and many other issues. But the issue is not to make everybody equal, and the issue is not of making to disappear the variety inside of Europe. The issue is of seeing as an asset that we have so many people with so many different cultures and origins and cultural attitudes. I think if this message is clear and is understood by our population, I think then we have some success. In that sense, the Parliament will continue surely to work on the Roma issue, and whenever Council and Commission gets lazy, we will wake them up. Thank you very much.